Hey friends, welcome to my V-stitch blanket tutorial. So this lovely blanket is made using bulky weight yarn and the V-stitch, which is an easy 1-row repeat. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 4 rows of regular single crochet stitches, and then we're going to move on to our V-stitch for just about the rest of the blanket, and then at the very end we're going to do also 4 rows of single crochet stitches and then top off our blanket with some fringe. First up, let's talk about the supplies that we're going to need to make this blanket. I am using Hue Me from Lion Brand. This is a number 5 bulky weight yarn, and I am using 7 different colors. I'm also using a 7mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle for weaving in your ends. So I do just want to make a note that I will not be making the entire blanket on camera. This is actually a really simple repeat, so I'm just going to be making a shortened version of it today. So go ahead and grab whatever color you've chosen to be your main color. We're going to start with that and make a slip knot in whatever your preferred method is. And now we're going to work 100 foundation single crochet stitches. So to do that, you are going to chain 2. You're going to insert your hook into the back bump. Oh, let's get this focusing a little better. Insert your hook into this back bump here of the first chain. Okay, so there's our first chain. Insert your hook into the back bump. Yarn over, pull up a loop. 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1. Still 2 loops on your hook. And then yarn over and complete the stitch by pulling through both loops on your hook. And now to make our next foundation single crochet, we're going to locate the 2 loops here on the underside of that stitch we just made. You're going to insert your hook under those, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through 2. Again, looking for those 2 loops on the underside of the last stitch you just made. Insert your hook under both those loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Inserting your hook under both loops here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through 2. Insert your hook under both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now what I want you to do is put me on pause, and you're going to continue to make 100 of these foundation single crochet stitches total, and then I will meet you back here to start row 2. All right, and welcome back. So once you've made a total of 101 foundation single crochet stitches, now I clearly do not have 101, but you should have 101. You're going to go ahead and chain 1. And now we have been working on this underside here, but now you're going to take your work and just flip it up. And now this part should look familiar to you. We're going to work a single crochet directly into this first stitch. The chain 1 or chain 2 anywhere in this tutorial never counts as a stitch. So we're going to work directly into this first stitch and work a single crochet. And now you're going to work a single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. Now, you are going to work a total of 3 single crochet rows. So once you've gotten to the end of this row, just go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Remember, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And you're going to work 3 single crochet rows in total. So that means combined with your foundation row, you will have 4 rows. So go ahead and put me on pause and work up these next 3 rows of single crochet stitches, and then I'll meet you back here to start the 5th row. So once you've put on those 3 rows of single crochet stitches, you should have a total of 4 rows. So you've got your foundation row and then 3 rows of single crochet stitches. So go ahead and chain 2 this time. Turn your work. And again, our chain 2 never counts as a stitch, which means we're going to work directly into this first stitch here. we're going to work a double crochet stitch, skipping this next stitch, and we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches in this next stitch. Skip the next stitch, 2 double crochet stitches in this next one. Skip the next stitch, 2 double crochets in this next stitch. And now you're going to continue to crochet in this same manner all the way across the row. So skip 1, 2 double crochets in the next stitch. You're just going to continue to crochet in this manner all the way across the row until you get to the last 2 stitches of the row. Now you want to make sure whatever color you're using next is handy, because we're going to pop this on our hook in just a second. But first we're going to finish up this row. So you're going to skip the second to last stitch, and we're going to start to work a single or just 1 double crochet in this last stitch. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and before we finish this stitch, you're just going to drop this yarn, pick up your next color, pop that onto your hook, and pull through and complete the stitch with this. And now you're going to chain 2 with your new color, turn your work, and then this is where I fasten off this color, so the one that I was using. I'm going to fasten that off. And now we're ready to work this next row, row 6, with our new color. So again, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to work directly into this first stitch here. You're going to make a double crochet stitch. And now we're simply going to repeat row 5, but we're going to be working in between each set of 2 double crochets. So locate your first set of 2 here, and you're going to work in between both of these. We're going to make 2 double crochet stitches. And now from here on out, you're going to locate each set of 2. See how it's kind of a V shape, right? You're going to work in the center of that V. You're going to work 2 double crochet stitches in between each set of 2 double crochet stitches from the row below. This is what it's gonna start to look like. And now you're just going to continue working across the row. You're just working 2 double crochet stitches in the center of each set of 2 double crochets from the row below. Just continue working in this manner all the way across the row until you've worked in the center of all of the sets of 2 double crochet stitches all the way across the row. And that should leave you with just, remember this singular double crochet stitch we have at the beginning and at the end of this row here. You're just going to work 1 double crochet in this singular stitch at the end. But remember, we're going to change colors in the same manner that we did over here. So on this last pull through, you're going to grab your next color, pop that onto your hook, pull it through, then you're going to chain 2, and now you're ready to work this next row with the new color. So this row that you just worked, row 6, you are going to repeat this row a total of 68 more times. And remember, you're going to change color at the end of every row. If you're following along with my color changes, I did 1 row in each color. It does leave you with some ends to weave in, but that is how I did it. I did 1 row, 1 color per row. and I used 7 colors total. I will have all of that in the description of this video if you want to follow along with my exact color changes. So to break that down, starting from row 5, the V-stitch row that you did, the very first V-stitch row that you did, we're going to have a total of 70 of these V-stitch rows. But once you complete row 6, you'll already be 2 rows in, so you're going to just need to do 68 more. So go ahead and put me on pause for, I don't know, the rest of the day or a couple of days until you finish up these next 68 rows, and then I'll meet you back here to finish up our blanket. All right, welcome back to my V-stitch blanket tutorial. So yours should look far more like a blanket than mine does. Mine is just a little sample here. So if you're following along with my color changes, you will have ended with the same color. This last V-stitch row, you will have ended with the same color that you started with. So to go on to the next row, go ahead and chain 1. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch. You're going to work a single crochet in this very first stitch. And now you're just going to work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across the row. And this is exactly what you are going to do for the last 4 rows of this blanket. So we're working on the first of the last 4 rows. You're going to repeat this row 3 more times for a total of 4 single crochet rows. So go ahead and put me on pause, work these next 4 rows of single crochet stitches, and then I'll meet you back here to put the fringe on. All right, now once you've completed those final 4 rows of single crochet stitches, your blanket should look something like this, of course. Again, mine is just a sample. It's a much smaller version than what you've got. So now you can just go ahead and fasten off and begin weaving in your ends. Now I did weave in my ends as I went along, just because I did not want a huge pile of ends to weave in at the very end. All right, so let's start adding our fringe. Now this part is also a bit tedious, but I love fringe, so for me it's worth it. So just go put on a good show and go to work. So to do fringe, I usually like to take, this is about 12 inches here. I usually like to take 12 inches, 2 pieces that are 12 inches. So I've got this folded in half here. Okay, and you can do a bunch all at once. I'm just going to show you one right now. So I'm going to cut this. So now I've got 2 pieces, okay, that are about 12 inches. And take my crochet hook here. Now this little piece that I started with, this tail, I kind of work this into my first part of the fringe. So you're going to insert your hook, and we're going to do this, I do about every other stitch all the way across. I don't do every stitch because I feel like that's quite a bit, but I go across every other stitch all the way across. And just take your 2 pieces of yarn, pull them through, and then you've got a little loop here, okay? Make sure your ends are, oops, somewhat evened up there, okay? And then you just take this, pull it through, and tighten it up. Oh, I said I was going to put this through I take this first tail here at the end. I pull it through as part of the fringe. It's like one less tail to weave in, I guess. And then, yeah, just tighten up on your fringe here. And like I said, you're going to do that all the way across. I feel like just doing every other stitch is sufficient. It gets a little too crowded when you're doing every single stitch. So every other stitch all the way across, you're going to do this fringe. And then at the very end, I take a rotary cutter. I kind of just like comb it out with my fingers like this, and I take a rotary cutter. Make sure you're on a surface that either you're using a cutting like a cutting board, or you're just on a surface that it doesn't matter that you're using a rotary cutter. Yeah, and I'll just kind of, you know, lay these out and then just go across with my rotary cutter. I would also suggest steaming your fringe first, because see how, you know, these yarn pieces are kind of wavy. If you steam them so that they're nice and straight, it really helps you get a much straighter fringe when you go across with your rotary cutter. And that is it, my friends, for this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed making this blanket, and I am sorry about all the ends that you have to weave in, and I hope you enjoy your new blanket. I will see you in the next video. Bye.